Attorney, help us make sense of the latest order of the ICC. It's heavily redacted, but it does acknowledge that there is some cognitive impairment.
Before I answer that, Cess, I just want to express my prayers and support to our kababayans po who were affected by the earthquake in Bogo City as well as in Cebu. Answering your question, Cess, number one, it's heavily redacted because the ICC respects the medical privacy of any detainee in its custody. Number two, I also want to actually emphasize that the ICC implements international human rights law standards, international standards with respect to any detainees in its custody. So with respect to Mr. Duterte, international standards pong pinapairal ng ICC.
So, what does it mean, though? Does it mean that the trial can continue because the ordered or the registry acknowledges that they do not have a say on the legality of whether he can stand trial or not?
That's also consistencies with the registry because the registry really just looks at the physical, mental, and overall well-being of any detainees in the custody of the ICC. But as to the fitness to stand trial, that's actually it will be decided by the pretrial chamber because fitness to stand trial, it's not a medical term, it's not a psychological term, it's actually a legal term. So the registry who has the custody and has the regulations with respect to any detainee. They provided a medical officer para pumagsuri sa any detainee such as Mr. Duterte. Pero gusto ko yun po, I also want to add that the Office of the Prosecutor also stated that it wants also its own expert to actually look at the condition of Mr. Duterte. And it's also possible under the Rome Statute and the Rules of Procedure and Evidence for the pretrial chamber itself to appoint its own expert.
I do understand you said here on this show that it should happen before the end of the year. You think that timetable still works considering what has to be done?
Well, it's a hope, says, In fact, that was the hope also of the Office of the Prosecutor. They stated it that hopefully there will be a confirmation of charges before the end of year 2025. But as to when the confirmation of charges will be, if it will happen, it's really up to the pretrial chamber. But I also want to emphasize that this is only a limited period of postponement. It's not indefinite as prayed by the defense. And I want to add that there's also reasonable period. So I really expect that this should not go on for years. I really hope na months lang po ito.
Okay. Attorney Gilbert, can you tell us, in layman's term, explain to us, you said the ICC implements and adheres to international law standards, but this fitness to stand trial, so to speak, that concept is legal. So in international law, what does that actually mean in plain speak?
Sean, it means that the fitness to stand trial means to say the detainee actually understands the proceedings that is set before him or her. Secondly, that the detainee actually understands to the point that he or she can actually exercise rights under international law such as under the Rome Statute. Oo, hindi kailangan na talagang very sharp po ang isang cognitive ability to the point na makakakuha po siya ng bar exam. Hindi po yan ang ganong cognitive ability ang kailangan. Ang kailangan lang maintindihan niya yung procedure, maintindihan niya kung anong nangyayari, at ma-exercise niya po yung kanyang rights under the Rome Statute.
And yung labanan, attorney, pagdating dun sa, like you said, the Office of the Prosecutor wants to elect their own medical team to make the assessment. I suppose the defense will also have their own, and then the ICC Detention Center also has medical staff. So ano po yung iiral dun sa tatlong medical teams na yan?
I think the pretrial chamber will look at all of the pieces of documents. In fact, the defense already submitted the medical report of their own expert. They have already stated that in their previous submissions. Yung medical officer din ng registry nakasubmit na rin So wala pa po, I think, sa Office of the Prosecutor, it's ongoing, although hindi po natin alam. But if it will happen, meron din niyang submission, at if the pretrial chamber will also appoint an expert witness, ito yung lahat ng mga experts at yung mga reports that they will produce that will form the full basis of a reasonable and informed decision by the pretrial chamber.